Welcome, guys. It's me again. It's Joey from Heroes Manufactured Comics Vault. Today, we're going to have a super awesome show. I've been wanting to talk about this comic for a really long time, and a lot of people who follow me on social media know why that is. And today, we have our awesome guest, Yaron Vatan of Heroes Manufactured Live. And guys,
Great.
just a reminder, you're on. You keep on telling me to not forget about this because it's very important, and I'm going to make it poignant this time around to make sure you follow us on YouTube and on Facebook at Heroes Manufactured.
For sure. Thanks for having me on the show.
How are you today?
It's been awesome since our last episode, which was just shot a few minutes ago. But we'll let people just sink themselves into it. This is a new episode. I know you told me a little bit about that you want to focus on with Dceased, right? The new DC series.
That's exactly what we're talking about today. If you guys don't know yet and you guys haven't picked it up, DC Comics, one of the most current events that they're having right now, or that they've had, and it's kind of continuing a little bit, is called Dceased, and it's a 6-issue run. It's obviously going to be a graphic novel very, very soon. So make sure you check out your local comic book stores and ask when that's going to be coming out.
Nice. So I guess like from my end, because I've seen it, on the racks. I think it's a great little project that to me just looks like another mini series of some sorts. But so I mean, if you could just set it up for us here, how did this whole thing start? How did it happen? What's it all about?
Sure. So the one thing, because I always want to give credit, is that it's by Tom Taylor and Greg Capullo. My God, you know Greg Capullo art. Know it when you see it on the racks as well, and it grabs you, man.
Yeah, I mean this is the series here, right? From what you sent me, I mean some of those are by Greg Capullo. I think the one on the left there.
Yeah. So honestly, just by the covers, why wouldn't you want to pick this up and just at least be a little bit interested in what is going on with these really, really big names in the DC world? So as you can see in the picture, right now you're seeing even like the Birds of Prey, you're seeing Wonder Woman, you're seeing the Bat family over at the top over there, and people are looking more than injured. Basically, just to set this up, what is happening in Dceased is basically there's an anti-life equation that is threatening the world, and it's nuts. If you guys know a little bit of the worlds in DC, it starts off obviously like in Earth, but the whole thing is actually set up by Cyborg being held captive in Apocalypse. And if you're a DC fan, you know Apocalypse is not a very great world. And this anti-life equation, what is going on with it is that it's essentially going to infect every single person in the earth. And how are they going to do that? Unfortunately and fortunately, by these devices.
Oh my God.
It's actually so Cyborg, obviously, he's the guy that gets infected with this whole thing. And essentially what happens is if you look into a screen, whether it is a phone, anything in telecommunications, that's how you get infected. And that's why it was able to get so many people and so many superhumans as well.
So tell me a little bit about like these are some of the images here.
Yeah.
Who are some of the players, like, I guess, in some of these scenes? Like, just
honestly, everybody popped up. That was like one of my most favorite things about this event. Right now, you're actually looking at Black Lightning holding his kids because there was a part into this whole thing where the Atom essentially is infected, and well, what happens is it's nuclear. It's a seismic, situation where, well, guess what? He blows up because he's infected, right? Ray Palmer was inside of him and he was infected. And regardless of how Superman and Wonder Woman was going to try to take him up to space, it wasn't going to happen. They didn't make it. And that was Black Lightning holding his kids and just saying, like, just focus on me. Everything's going to be all right.
And even here, like, I mean, we got Superman, Robin. Is that Superboy there as well?
It is. Oh my gosh. Actually, I don't know if you've been reading into the Super Sons from a while ago, but what a wonderful relationship that they portrayed for the Super Sons. really, really big things that happened in this comic book was a lot of the big guns, they got deceased, to put it in that sense. And Batman does not make it.
Yeah, there's kind of like that cover, that one cover where he's
It's the first cover, actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
cover
he
one.
looks like a zombie. I mean, even here, there's another image of him
That's
where
exactly what happened. He got infected, and he tried to put himself in Freeze's. Well, I mean, he put himself in Freeze's suit just to contain the infection. But eventually, obviously, that's going to run out of time. He's going to break out into it. It's going to be a mess. And Damian, obviously, he takes up the mantle of Batman in this one. And honestly, like what happened, this is exactly the book you're going to want to read if you want to know what it's going to be like if the big guns don't make it,
and
right?
like what do you think about the artwork? Like, because I mean, some of that like that looks amazing.
Mind blowing, mind blowing. Like every single panel. Okay, so there's this thing that happened with DC a little bit ago, and they changed their paper. And I think it was like a little bit of an ordering mistake or something like that. But it's not the same kind of glossy paper that we're used to, right? You noticed that, right?
No, for sure. There's the
Yeah.
it's a
So
major difference from what they, and it feels like they've been doing that also with a lot of the darker the damn
the
books,
damn books,
or
yeah.
the black
So
label type books. It feels like they're doing a lot of that change of stock and
yeah,
whatnot. So
but I think I don't mind that paper anymore because it's really, really vivid. Like it really shows, like the inking really well. And I'm honestly, all throughout the whole book, I was not disappointed in any of the art.
so like I guess, because I mean the art is definitely, it kind of speaks for itself here.
Mhm.
But I mean, when looking at that Batman image, was like, killing off big popular heroes. Would you say it was a big was it a good thing for this book, or is it too much? Because I mean, he seems like a zombie at this point. I mean,
Well,
he
yeah,
seems like someone from the Night of the Living Dead, Walking Dead.
oh
I
yeah.
mean, it looks pretty out there. So
It's insane. Like just the amount of the Justice League members that don't make it and got infected by the anti-life, it was
yeah.
insane. But I thought it was actually important
So
because
you said that the a lot of the Justice League members. I mean, I'm looking at an image here.
mhm.
You got Wonder Woman. You got the Flash.
Oh,
You got
everyone was there.
everyone's in it.
Even Mr. Miracle and Big Barda was there. I think
Oh
it was in
wow,
issue
Big
2.
Barter, nice.
Oh yeah, like they've included so many good people. But I think that it was really important to bring out a comic out there to people who are not used to, Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Like literally, I'm naming the people that everybody knows, not be the good guys.
And like there's an image here like this. I just saw this one here.
Oh,
This,
that was heartbreaking.
yeah, and that kind of like plays off of exactly what you were talking about. But it also almost feels like images from Flashpoint. You know what I mean? It's got a
Yeah,
very.
yeah.
Do they reference any like other books, other series that they? Is there a connection there, or is it just mostly kind of the new story that they're focusing on?
It's more of a new story because this one is kind of an outside world story. It doesn't really continue on to any of the action comics or detective comics, nothing like that. It's a standalone.
Yeah,
But that particular image, I mean, if you flash it, just flash it. If you just flash it, just for a few seconds,
yeah.
you can see exactly what they were trying to capture of how heartbreaking it is to lose someone just being infected by this whole thing. And imagine the fastest man alive being that person. And how are you going to beat that?
Yeah,
In this comic, of course, Superman, before he gets infected, Wally was like, so your whole plan is to like literally run after him? Are you even going to catch up? And he was like, to be honest, no, I can't, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go run the opposite direction and try to catch him that way. And that was a very, 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 very heartbreaking panel.
and like I feel like it's very there's a lot of parallels to what's happening today with the coronavirus, with COVID. I mean, it seems like it's like you said, it's very heartbreaking to see someone you've enjoyed, you've loved over the years, you've loved
Mm,
over the years, all of a sudden, die. And
yeah,
like I luckily we all got to kind of experience that with Marvel Zombies. If
that
if
was
you want
great
a
too.
Marvel end, right?
Hmm.
So it definitely feels like they were trying to do a similar thing, but it feels like Marvel Zombies felt like a very mishmash of the Marvel universe just going into chaos, whereas
Yeah,
this feels like it's
definitely.
a little more character based. Like, am I right?
It's very much so. Yeah.
Whereas that felt more event based. I mean, this is obviously event based, but they still seem like they to focus on actual characters, kind of more the emotion of that.
Oh,
Uh,
there's so much. It was like the same feeling that I got reading Blackest Night. I don't know if you remember
yeah,
that one at
very
all, but
very good series, and you know what? I can see the parallels there
yeah.
too.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
like no, it's definitely awesome. I mean, and like, what would you say was your favorite part or most surprising part of this book? Like for you, was there anything specific that stood out?
Absolutely. So you're gonna need to find this image right now, but it's the Black Canary one, and she's wearing green.
Okay, let me see if I can find this.
Oh my gosh, I will go on about this
Well,
when.
you can start talking about it. That's for
Yeah, I
sure.
know. I'm gonna get right into it because I have never bought a sideshow in my life. I have never
Is
bought
that this
any
one right
expensive.
here?
That's exactly it. That is the one I'm gonna buy.
There you
So
go.
essentially, Green Lantern
Yeah.
is infected, and he's a very, very powerful guy. He is in charge of 2814, and when the guy who's in charge of us in the galactic sense, and he gets infected, his ring is going to go somewhere, and it went to Dinah Lance, my ultimate favorite street girl superhero,
Yeah,
and
there
she
you go.
becomes the new Green Lantern for this one. So I mean,
So
you know,
a lot of cross play between the characters, the superhero powers, and kind
mhm.
of where they're at. It's nice because there's a lot of mashups happening here, I
Oh,
guess. As
it's so
well.
good. And she well deserved. I mean, sure, I'm a little biased because she's my favorite, but she played such a key role into this whole thing. And the banter between her and Oliver Queen is just, it's classic. It's exactly the way that they were in like their wedding album. You know what I mean? Where there was like this little quip that Oliver was just like, well, I guess now you have it all. You know, you don't just have the canary cry, but you could literally will things out of your mind. And what do I have? A bow and arrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
No, and
amazing.
it's interesting. 'Cause, like, I saw there was a little bit of Harley Quinn in there as well.
Mhm.
How does
There
that
is.
play out? How does that play out at all?
The Harley Quinn thing is super interesting. She's paired up with Poison Ivy,
Okay.
and she actually one of the really crazy moments. And I love seeing this. I think I might have given you an image, but she kills an infected Joker.
Oh wow.
And it
Let's
was very, very satisfying for her. And I know that Harley Quinn is this kind of anti-hero. That's kind of how they portray her to be. That's exactly what happened.
that's the one right there, right?
That's the one. That's exactly the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was very satisfied with that move right there. And
nice
she
nice blow to the it looks like to the groin, but I mean
it's it's the part, perhaps. Um, but the thing is with Harley Quinn with this one, she actually does more of a hero thing because
oh very
she's working with the heroes to try to get a safe haven space for the people who were not infected.
oh wow.
So
So
she's a goodish girl in this one.
she's definitely taking a better side, picked a better side, I guess, at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Does she have like I just from looking at it, does she have some kind of an emotional connection to that moment after? Like does she fall or does she
Well,
or do you want to not reveal that right now?
I mean, oh God, I've revealed so much already. Like I felt like I should have put like a little spoiler alert on this one. But the good thing about Harley.
We'll put it in post. Don't worry.
Yeah, put it. Yeah, that's a good idea. The thing about Harley with this one is that she actually also comes across an infected birds of prey,
Oh wow.
and it was everybody. It was like Helena. It was I think Batgirl was in there, and they were all infected. And she was like, "Well, then," and there's only one me, kind of thing. So I think with Harley, it was a lot more of the encounters of the people of Gotham that she's usually paired up with, and how she deals with them being infected.
Oh, very cool.
But she's actually she doesn't really have any like emotional attachment. She more kind of like enjoyed killing the Joker. You know,
Yeah,
she was
why
like,
not?
yeah,
Dude,
done with you.
nothing wrong with killing the Joker. Batman's done it like God knows how many times. So, I mean,
Yeah.
She's got to steal the life from Batman eventually,
Yeah.
right? So,
And you know what? The Joker has done X amount of things to Harley that we may not even know behind closed doors.
and in
So,
different multiverses too, right? Like, come on.
yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah,
So I
exactly.
mean, it just adds more to the fuel, right? So,
Hmm.
and that being said, I mean, does this series run like is it like as and continue, or was it just kind of like a fun mini series? Explain a little bit about that with regards to Deceased, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm actually reading it right now. It does go into deceased unkillables,
Oh,
and
nice.
yes. So again, another amazing series. It's going to be another mini series as well, and it's gonna something else is going to follow after that. The main players. So as I said, with this deceased 6 issue run, everybody was in it. Like, I mean, I told you, like, everybody who is a somebody in the Justice League is there and more, right? And for the unkillables, it's basically what happens afterwards. And it starts with Deathstroke. It's also Red Hood is in it. He does a really fun thing with a Batmobile and
Nice.
a dead Joker. So that's really fun. It has to do as well, like a big part of it has a big thing to do with the Deathstroke family as well.
Oh, wow.
So it's Slade and Rose and Shiva's in this as well. Um, and they also have the villains that are actually going to try and clean up what's been happening, and they try to.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. The great art continues. The great arc of the story continues as well. So it's going to be a really great run.
No, very cool for sure. And I
Hmm.
mean, like with regards to Superman, for example, like this is a really cool image. But
Yeah.
how's his like play in this? Like, how does he come across? Is he a zombie? Is he
So
like yeah,
yeah, so one thing that I didn't really want people to take away from this was that they were zombies,
yeah?
because the actual book talks
That's the
about the
virus, right?
anti-life equation,
Got it.
right? So it's not so much that they're zombies; they look like that, but they're not seeking for brains or anything. What they're seeking for is to take life away from people, right? So that particular part was actually super sad, and it basically takes place in Smallville, and Superman walks in and he just sees like a distraught Martha,
Oh,
just Martha, and he's kind of looking around and he's like, "Where's Pops?" And of course, where's Pops? Pops is infected.
oh,
And basically, Jonathan is locked up in the barn downstairs. Clark very much sees that that's the case. He's definitely infected. That is not his father anymore. He cannot bring him back to life, and he knows that. And so he does what he needs to do.
and that's the image here. Is that what or is that after the fact?
Sorry, say that again.
Is that this image here, or is that after the fact?
That's pretty much while it's happening. He
Oh,
knows
wow.
that he open just before this panel. He opens up the door and he sees an infected Jonathan, and all he could do is that,
Wow.
to pretty much try and just kind of like end it for him.
Yeah,
And
it feels like The Walking Dead to me in many
yeah,
ways. It has that kind of,
absolutely, like Herschel's farm.
yeah, Herschel's Farm, or exactly, especially the end. I mean, I was more taken to the show versus the comics personally.
Mhm.
Although there's some moments in the comics just amazing, especially
Absolutely, yeah,
especially
even
the
in black
last.
and white.
Yeah, so with The Walking Dead, I mean, so I like the fact they're doing this, and I feel I definitely it's awesome that major labels like Marvel and DC have done this already. They've taken
Yeah.
that zombie post-apocalyptic or viral
Mhm.
end of the world dystopian
Yeah.
version of their universe, and it definitely brings to light a lot, and it's
Mhm.
unique in
Mhm.
itself. um
Yeah, it does. And I think it's the kind of comic book that if you're kind of like just interested even in what would happen in the world if the people who usually save us can't.
yeah.
That's really it.
No, for sure. And is there anything that you didn't like about this specific run? Like, was there any negative moments? Anything you were just like questioning or saying, "Hey, I don't know if I'm okay with that or whatever."
Yeah. To me, it wasn't so much, I thought a lot about this and I'm just like, because I enjoyed it so much that it was so hard to pick out what I didn't like about it, but there's got to be something, right? Is that I wish that it was longer. I wish it wasn't just like a six-ish run, you know? It being 6 issues, I'm not going to say that it was rushed because I think that the people who needed to be in those pages and panels needed to be there for that moment in time. And, you know, there wasn't a stretch of things. There wasn't anything that took too long or anything like that. But I would have loved to have, you know, kind of a perspective on, you know, how Dinah felt about being the new Green Lantern, you know?
Yeah, and who knows? They might pull her into another universe or another multiverse.
Yeah.
The one thing, like, I mean, we'll wait and see kind of what happens because the one thing I've always remember, like when I was reading Marvel Zombies way back when it came out, they always
Yeah.
had like the Marvel Zombies 1, the 2, the 3. So they started coming out with more of them as people found them that they loved them and they became pretty popular. But I also enjoyed like when they did Secret Wars, when they re-brought back Secret Wars, they had like Wolverine come, you know. So to me, I feel like DC could do a very similar thing
Hmm.
where other characters can all of a sudden appear kind of as their themselves, like bringing Batman back from a different multiverse into this one, right? Like that could be
Yeah.
a cool thing. I don't know if they're going to copy the same kind of format as Marvel, but I mean, it would be cool to see Batman face off himself as this like this decrepit version of him or
Hmm.
whatnot, right? Like
Hmm.
it's kind of like the Batman who laughs, yet I
Yeah.
feel like there's some aspects to even this image here, and the Batman who laughs, right? It's got that same.
Oh, it's the same grin. It's like a Joker kind of grin.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure, and
Hmm.
that's why, like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's the Batman who laughs under all that. Like, that's the same. He was also infected from a virus, right? He was also like, it's got a very similar theme to it. I find in many ways, and who knows
Honestly,
like, where they can connect the dots, right? Like,
this is how DC has successfully kind of shaken things again, you know,
oh
and
yeah,
we talked about it. Yeah. I didn't really have a great grasp on Green Lantern before Blackest Night and Brightest Day. And because of the whole, you know, let's shake things up and let's bring something new to the universe, that's just how you make things unstale again. And I think that this is a very important story that I think DC or even people who are new to comics just kind of want to read up. Around this time, actually, another comic came out called Heroes in Crisis, and I don't really think that did very well.
no, it didn't do as well, but it was an interesting start and read, but yeah, it didn't go half as well as these.
No. Again, the art was amazing in that one. I like the way that they showed the square panels for the interviews. It kind of reminds you of The Watchmen. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, nothing was really that shaken up. I mean,
yeah, well, not, it wasn't really happening. It was
it
just kind of it
wasn't.
felt stale.
No, no, it wasn't. But again, you know, with this comic book, there's just so many things that happened, and there's just so many things that even in you imagining a world would be like with the people who typically save us don't make it is exactly the kind of shakeup that you're going to want to read. So it
Yeah,
was
and you
good.
know what? Like I think the one thing that's amazing about this, and the more DC does, is kind of what you were saying, but uh, they're exploring new territories that they haven't before, especially with Batman. I noticed in the last year or two, last few years actually, with like I said, Batman who laughed. But like these are books that eventually I want to see like one true Batman face off all his demons and maybe other Batmans as well, right? Like
Yeah.
it
Oh
would
my
be
gosh.
unique. It would be unique to see other Batmans, other Jokers, all kind of square off in a battle of Batmans and Jokers. Like it would be like
Do you
anything
know
possible, right? Like
the
it's
insane thing that I thought about just when you said that was you remember, so shipping over to the other side right now, do you remember the Council of Reeds in Fantastic
vaguely,
Four?
vaguely, but explain. Yeah,
Oh, it was a Jonathan Hickman run, I believe, and there was this thing called the Council of Reeds, and it's all the Reeds from all the different multiverses.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine an infected Batman trying to, infect all the other Batmans? Like, it just, so many
Yeah, trying to
opportunities.
ruin it for him in every multiverse
In
sense.
every single multiverse, there's a zombie Batman. Then it's trying to it's trying to fight the Batman beyond Batman, who's
Yeah,
being held captive by the Nolan Batman. Like it's insane, like it's
for
just,
sure, for
we
sure.
need to shake up the industry. Just something needs to happen.
Yeah, and so that kind of brings me to my last line of questioning. But like,
Hmm.
who would you recommend this run to? I mean, what would you say? Like, is it? Would you recommend this to Marvel people? Would you recommend this to just Batman people, or people that like the darker stuff, the
Hmm.
more the more campier stuff? Like, who?
Yeah.
Give me a little bit about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know what? I think the people that will really like this are people who may be getting bored of the things that they're reading. Because if you're one of those people that are very canon, let's just say, and you want to follow just what happened in Action Comics, just what happened in Flash, and just all the titles that are happening in Rebirth or the New 52, this is one of those things where, you know what, you need a break. Let's kind of dive into something I would honestly say it's a quick read, because I I just finished. I finished it again, and then I finished it again. And it took no time because it was just that enjoyable. But I also recommend this to people that are new to comics, because if there is a little bit of stigma with them that comics can't be dark, or they just can't fathom comics to have these types of themes, it's definitely possible. It's not just it doesn't just happen in The Walking Dead. This can happen to your big heroes as well.
For
So
sure.
definitely recommend it to those people. I actually also recommend it to people who are long time subscribers. If you've had a pull list for a long time, kind of thing. It's great in your collection. The art, as I said again, and I'm going to say it over and over, but it's so, so, so great. So I think it's great for a collector. It's great for a new reader, and it's something for everybody, but definitely not for kids.
Nice. No, for sure. And,
Yeah.
and would you say that in comparison to other books out there, and doesn't necessarily have to be DC or Marvel, but would you say that are there certain comparisons that you can draw? If someone liked, Marvel Zombies, for example, would they love this, or other books that you
Yeah,
could
yeah.
say
The
that?
two that we mentioned, definitely you mentioned Marvel Zombies, and maybe someone who likes Deadpool kills the Marvel universe,
Oh, nice.
someone who enjoyed Blackest Night, definitely. you
Nice.
know those kinds of you know
Walking Dead too, right? Because it's got a bit of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, even Walking Dead. It definitely has those themes to it, but if you want a fun quick read, this is definitely the way to go.
Now, tell us, does it end well, or is it like, well, what I mean, probably not from what I'm seeing already. But I mean, is there a some light at the end of the tunnel here?
There is, light is an interesting word to use for this one.
Yeah.
But honestly, man, everybody dies.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Everybody gets
So it's
the
it's it's
anti-life equation like
it's
mad.
hopeful in one way or another, I guess.
I know, but you know what?
Depending on the perspective, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess if you didn't really like Superman and the Green Lantern, I guess it's a good book for you. But no, I think it's because it's going to go into the continuation of Deceased, Unkillables.
Okay.
And there's going to be things resolved there. And, I think that the book in itself, like the 6 issues, when you say something like, does it end well? I think story ends well.
Got it.
Yeah. If there's a lot of people out there that like the nice tidy endings. It's not going to be one of those books, because it's going to go into another book. But honestly, enjoy it for the story. Enjoy it for the thrill of all the big leagues going.
And
So
with the Unkillables, has that even come out yet, or is that
it
is that
has. It has.
yeah?
The last issue came out last week. So
Last issue, wow. So
yeah.
and that's definitely already taken from the Deceased universe. So there is a continuation that we could look forward to, obviously, on some level, correct?
Yeah, and after DC Unkillables, there's going to be one more, and I think it's going to be a very, very short run. And we'll find out about that soon as well. I'll mention that in another show.
That's awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Well, yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me here, Joey. This sounds awesome. I mean, definitely check it out. We'll probably even have it on our store soon, which is
Yeah,
going to
that'd be
be
really
pretty cool
cool.
once we have it on our Heroes Vault show. So, guys, check out definitely Deceased. Joey,
Yeah.
did you have anything else you wanted to say before we end off the show?
Of course I do. I always have something to
Yeah.
say. And that is follow us. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. So you can find us at Heroes Manufactured when you type that into the search bar at Facebook. We love seeing everybody's content and we love seeing you guys tune into our show. It's very enjoyable for us to see you guys interact with us as well. So tell your friends. Tell your family, tell everybody. Right now, I know that things are getting a little bit chill with COVID, which is, I don't know if that's a good idea, seeing as how Dceased ended, guys.
Yeah.
So if you guys are still at home and behaving yourselves and wearing your masks, definitely follow us on YouTube at Heroes Manufactured, as well as Facebook, Heroes Manufactured as well. Tune into our lives and follow me on social media and Instagram at The Captain Canary.
For sure. Take care, guys, and definitely check us out. Look forward to seeing you guys again. Look forward to seeing you, Joey, again.
You too. Thanks for being in the show, man.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.